Sweet. Connected. Love it, love it. All right. We are doing fantastic. Gonna be getting started here in a second. Wait to let some people connect. Connected. Oh boy. So we get some view counters going on here. All right. Welcome. Yeah, so today we're gonna be talking about you're giving too much of your energy to rich people and you should stop. And we're gonna go over why and what's happening and all this. So this is like a constant pressure point, right? People getting mad about billionaires having too much money, and they're like, tax the rich. Right? Of course, AOC wore that dress to the Met Gala. Now Joe Manchin is talking about he might support a billionaire's tax, and it's, we talk about exploitation and all these things, and it's just like you are getting sucked in to the wrong thing. You're focused on the wrong thing here. This is not a defense of billionaires. It's not what this is today. I just want to lay out like the numbers and the scales of the problems and demonstrate why going after rich people is just incredibly inefficient. So I'll start with the more obvious thing, one of the more obvious things that you've heard before, which is that Elon Musk doesn't actually have $300 billion, right? Almost all of that is tied up in things that don't actually have any intrinsic value. It's not cash sitting in a bank account. It's stocks that have speculation, right? A bunch of people saying it's worth X amount of dollars. And if he tried to sell all of it, then it would plummet in value before it was bought, and he wouldn't get that money. And then he takes out loans against that. It's right, and that's not just Elon Musk. That's most billionaires. So first and foremost, that money isn't real, but it is a number that we talk about, right? We talk about somebody's net worth, which is a made-up number for people like billionaires. But you want to know what a comparable metric is for corporations? Market cap. That's kind of a comparable metric, right? It's just kind of the speculation of how much a company is worth. It doesn't have anything to do with how much cash they have on hand or how profitable they are. It's just whatever the market says they're worth. And here's the number, and I've had this on my website. The combined market cap of the two largest American corporations is greater than the combined net worth of all 724 American billionaires. I'm going to say that again. The combined market cap of the two largest American corporations is greater than the combined net worth of all 724 American billionaires. This is the key point you need to keep in your mind. The money is not with the billionaires. That's not where the real money is. It feels like it because we hear things like Bernie Sanders saying the top 1% has the 99% of the wealth, or whatever the numbers are these days. I don't know. I don't really care. One family owns more wealth than half the country or something. And it's like, that's not real wealth, but it also doesn't matter. Like, I don't care about it. I don't really care that somebody else is rich. What I care about is that everybody's basic needs are taken care of, right? I care about the well-being of people on the planet. If everybody is taken care of, then there can be rich people. Sure, fine, I don't care. And like people get into like exploitation or whatever. People talk about like, well, if you have rich people, that can only happen if others are poor. Like, actually, I don't agree with that. I don't think that's true. I think we have so much abundance right now that we can have nobody be poor and also have like super wealthy people at the same time. Whether or not a society should allow that, I think, is up for philosophical discussion. But like, the point that I'm making is that like, I don't care about taxing the rich. What I care about is funding the people. That's why I fight so hard for an unconditional basic income. I just want to fund the people. And you say, well, how can you fund the people if you don't tax billionaires? Actually, you can. My freedom dividend proposal doesn't tax billionaires directly. It does it through a consumption tax, which is like way more effective than any wealth tax that's ever been implemented. And really almost any kind of other tax that's been implemented. Carbon taxes, land value taxes, those could also be effective. And I've considered adding those in, step up in basis, right? There's some things, capital gains, carried interest, right? Those kinds of things. But like, you're not going to get enough money out of rich people to solve the problems that we need to solve. You're going to get it from the corporations, right? If you go after, I was recently learning about stock buybacks and something like there are airlines who spend as much as like 98% of their revenue or profits on stock buybacks rather than reinvesting it in the company. Like, that's insane. They buy back the stocks and then they burn it. And the reason they do that is because it causes a temporary spike in their stock price, which then activates like executive bonuses. Like, there are other issues that we can focus on. And the other thing too is like, rich people are just very distracting, right? Like, Elon Musk is a prime example of this. He is very distracting. He's like a little bit polarizing. He's very active. He's very public. He's on Twitter all the time. Like, he's probably like the most accessible billionaire on earth. And not that he's like easy to access, but among billionaires. And that has turned him into like this icon to love or hate or whatever. And like, I don't even want to get into the way I feel about Elon Musk because I think he's a net positive. But like, there's this thing that just happened where like, okay, he's paying $11 billion in taxes, and there's two sides of the coin, right? That is the most amount of money anybody's ever paid in taxes in a single year, but it is also like a tiny percentage of his net worth at the same time, right? That is like way lower than like what the rest of us pay. And despite the fact that he doesn't really even have much of an income, he doesn't take an income from his companies. He doesn't need it. Most billionaires don't have much of an income. But so the thing is, so Elon Musk is paying $11 billion in taxes this year, and the other issue that I have with the tax the rich is like, okay, so then what? What do you do with that money? What are we going to do with that money? Pick something. Do you think the U.S. federal government is actually going to do that with that money? Is actually going to execute on that? No. What is that money actually going to go towards? It's going to go toward more bureaucracy and more wars, right? It's going to go toward bombing brown children overseas. If we had an efficient and effective government, I could get on board with that. I'd be like, great, that's 11 billion more dollars we can pour into public education or infrastructure or whatever. Like, that's actually significant. That makes a difference. It's real, right? Like, cool. But like, damn it, like, I wish our government was that effective, and like, I'm fighting for all the things to make the government more efficient and more effective, all the democracy reforms and the government accountability, all the stuff I've been talking about for the last year. But as of right now, and this is just my opinion, I don't think it really matters what your opinion is either way. I think $11 billion goes way further in the hands of Elon Musk than it does in the hands of the government. And maybe you disagree, the U.S. federal government, I should say, and maybe you disagree, and fine, whatever. Like, either way, that doesn't mean that our government is going to use it well, right? And so, like, again, you're wasting your energy on the wrong thing when you're on Twitter trying to scream at billionaires who are not reading your tweets, right? Like, when you have the politicians who pay less in taxes than we do too, in terms of percentage, or may pay a total amount in taxes, may pay zero in taxes, right? Because of some whatever bullcrap loophole they figured out, or that they wrote into the code themselves, right? Like, you know, it's just pandering nonsense to get more donations out of people. And it's like, you have to keep this perspective. You have to keep this zoomed out view. You have to keep in mind that your brain is really bad at scale, right? So like, when people talk about like Elon Musk spending all this money like going to Mars, like the Mars project is going to cost around $100 billion, like on that order of magnitude. And they're like, well, it should be spent instead fixing this planet. And it's like, to fix this planet is going to cost somewhere around the order of $100 trillion, 1,000 times more. The Mars project is not even a drop in the bucket. And like, by the way, that's going to produce a ton of technology that we'll be able to use back down here to improve this planet. Like, that's a thing. And like, again, this is not a defense of billionaires. This is like, here are the numbers. Do the math. You have a limited number of seconds in your life. Like, be smarter with it. Spend it. Like, if you actually care about the well-being of people, going after billionaires is an inefficient use of your energy. Like, what is an efficient use of your energy, right? I've said this before. Form genuine human connection with people who disagree with you, and try to get star voting or approval voting in your jurisdiction. Maybe you have some other particular skill. Maybe you're really passionate about mutual aid. Great, do mutual aid. That causes an immediate material increase in the lives of the people in your community. Maybe you're really passionate about some kind of other nonprofit work or whatever it is. Like, great, do that stuff too. Like, do that too. Those are all fantastic. Like, there are a ton of fantastic things you could be doing with your time. Going after rich people is just an effing waste. I want to fix this planet. I want to fix the world. I want people to be better off, and it is just a waste of your energy. Please stop letting Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk and Bill Gates live in your head rent-free. My God, they're the richest people in the world, and you're not even charging them rent to live in your head. That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So I'm just upset about that today. It's something I've been talking about for a while. I've talked about it before, but I wanted to lay it all out and focus it and just be like, just stop giving your energy. Focus your energy. Always think about that. Where am I putting my energy? Where am I putting my energy? Are you putting it in a wise spot? So thanks for listening to me ramble and rant and go crazy. And let me see if Twitter has any comments. Wigged itself? I don't think so. No, it doesn't look like it. It doesn't show up on the screen. Cool. All right, well, that's all. Talking into the void once again. Appreciate you coming by. I'm going to end the stream, and you have some